said he's gonna be late. So.
It is Thursday, April the 2nd. I now call the council meeting to order. The time is now 6 o'clock. I ask that you please silence your cell phones, and Councilmember Troy will give the invocation, and then we'll conduct the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, if you'd bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, it's another time we get to just say thank you, God, for allowing us to have this day, and we thank you for the many people that are in the audience today, God. We just ask you to bless each one of us here and bless this community for all it has to offer for the citizens here, and we're just so grateful that we get to live in a nice small community orientated place where it's thriving and people are doing good, and we just hope that continues for us, God. And we just ask that you would watch over each one of us council people today as we discuss city business. We just ask, God, that you would give us the wisdom, give us the countenance to be about the business that we need to attend to, and that we would make good decisions for the citizens that we serve. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, for the mayor's comments, today we had a dedication for the young man that was killed at the Sonic in 2023, Matthew Davis. There was quite a turnout. The family was very appreciative of the acknowledgement of their son and the city's caring about their son. So that was really a nice thing. Keene is wonderful for caring about people and trying to show their caring, loving spirit. So anyway, and right now, on that note too, Keene Fire Department will present a life-saving award to a Keene resident, Chief Warner.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager, and citizens. This is one of the times I really enjoy standing up at the podium. This is a wonderful experience that we're about to have. I have the honor this evening of presenting a life-saving award to a very special young person. You know, when fire and EMS and PD, when we respond to emergencies, it's a team effort. It requires a lot of coordination, a lot of training. But it's not necessarily any particular person. It's those that are willing to stand up and do what's right. So tonight we have a young family here, and we're going to tell a little bit of a story. So please, will the family come up? Firefighters, would you join me, please? We're going to be looking this way just a little bit. There's a camera right here. Also one a little bit. Hayden, would you come up here with me, please? Yep. Good. I'm going to read a bit of a story here, okay? On January 3rd of this year, at approximately 14:30 hours, the Keene Fire Department was dispatched to a reported drowning involving a 3-year-old child. As the child's mother pulled him from the pool, his older brother, Hayden, immediately sprang into action, and he quickly gathered his other siblings to ensure their safety, and then ran from neighbor to neighbor until he found someone who could call 911. Because of Hayden's quick thinking, courage, and determination during a critical and frightening moment, help was set in motion without delay. His actions played a vital role in the response that followed, and without him, the outcome for his little brother could have been very, very different. Today, we have the honor and we are proudly able to present this life-saving certificate and honorary fire department pin to Hayden as a reminder of the bravery and selflessness that he showed that day. So please stand and join us in honoring him for his extraordinary actions. Hayden, you did a great thing that day. And because, in large part because of you, that's all why we're all here today. You did really, really good. And keep it up. So, this, you can hang on your wall. It's a life-saving award certificate. It is presented to Hayden Wilson in recognition of outstanding bravery, quick thinking, and heroic action in helping to save a life. Your courage, compassion, and willingness to act in a time of need demonstrates strength of character far beyond your years. Because of your actions, someone was given another chance, and that is truly extraordinary. You are a true hero, and your community is incredibly proud of you. Hayden. Thank you. Good job.
Nice job, Hayden.
Yes. Great.
So we have a small medallion for you. Nice award.
We've also got a pin with the fire department insignia. If you like, you can pin this to your shirt. Okay. I'll let you hold on to it.
And we have one more thing to give you, and then we're also going to give one to your little brother too. So what he's going to give you right now is called a challenge coin. Those go to very special people, okay? So look over here. Look at the camera. And show them your certificate. You did great. Hold on just a minute. Where's his little brother?
He is sick,
Oh, he's
but
sick?
I didn't want to
Okay.
infect him.
Okay. So we have a challenge coin for him as well.
Yes. I'm so sorry. He is doing so good, though.
Good.
Amazing.
Who's got the other one? You do? And family, would you like to say a few words to council, just let us know how he's doing?
Yeah.
Come on up. And y'all can have this as well.
Tyler just yelled Hayden. For real.
He's proud of you.
He's doing good. No one really expects something like that to happen, but when it does, you want a good team, and y'all put together a great team of firefighters, police officers, all the first responders, and I want to say thank you for everything y'all do, because y'all are behind the scenes. Y'all don't really get a lot of recognition, so I appreciate it, everything y'all do, and he's doing awesome. He's gonna grow up to be a great kid.
He is a
But-
mess. He's still just as funny as he was.
If it's any consolation, we took the pool down, so no longer have the pool.
We're
Yeah,
tore now.
I ran it, let out some anger with the tractor, and so it's no longer there. But yeah,
The ones who can swim are like, what? And then the
But-
ones who,
we've already looked up swimming lessons at the YMCA, and so I don't know. I'll just appreciate everything that y'all put together here. It's a great town. I've been here about 8 years now, and everyone said, don't move to Johnson County. And I'll tell you what, this has been a good county to live in, and a lot of that has to do with y'all, and I appreciate y'all a lot. Thank y'all.
Thank you. We're glad to have you in our
thank you guys.
Congratulations, Hayden. What a wonderful little boy. Okay, public comments. Each person in attendance who wishes to speak to the city council. On an item not posted on the agenda shall speak during this section. A speaker card must be filled out and given to the city secretary before addressing the city council. Each speaker will be allotted 3 minutes. City council may only take action on items posted on the agenda. The Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from deliberating.
You all right?
I'm okay.
You're a little emotional over here.
Oh, yeah. We had one child killed today and then another one almost, so that's kind of like a bad thing. Anyway, the city council may take action on items posted on the agenda. The Texas Open Meeting Act prohibits the city council from deliberating or taking action on an item not listed on the agenda. City council may, however, receive your comments on the unlisted items, ask clarification questions, respond with facts, and explain policy. And so we do have some yellow cards here. Are there any others that are coming up? Okay, the first one is Paul Knott, Memorial Day Service Meeting.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Paul Knott, and I'm a 39-year resident of Keene, all inside the city limits in the last 27 at 107 North Old Mansfield Road. Okay, as you are maybe familiar with, Keene has conducted a Memorial Day service on Memorial Day for veterans who were killed in the line of duty. The service did not take place last year because the service was organized by Udo Ortiz, and his health will not permit him to continue. So Udo and Mary handed that ceremony to the Keene Chamber of Commerce. So we want to continue that, and we're inviting all veterans or others interested to a meeting to discuss the future of this program. And the meeting is 5 p.m. Monday, April 5th. It's either the 5th or 6th. What's Monday? It's the 6th, Monday, April 6th, at the small meeting room here at City Hall. So, I'd like to see you there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Paul?
I'm sorry. I can't be here at 5, but I can be here at 6. And I will still do what I've been doing with the Memorial Day
Yes,
event.
good. Okay, okay,
So if I'm not here, just count on me.
okay, okay. All right, Johnny, thank you.
And Paul, you had another yellow card while you're there?
It's for the general,
Okay, it's for the agenda item, okay.
item C.
We'll get you then.
7. Yes, thank you.
We'll get you then. West Shram is the next one. And it's on item 7C, that's an agenda item. Okay, we'll get y'all then. Okay. Okay, any other yellow cards or anyone else have anything they want to say? Okay, next is the reports. Receive a report from Aaron Bennett, Texas Health and Community Impact Program Manager for Johnson County, about the THCI program, available grants, information on the 2025 community health needs assessment, and information on receiving proposals for the grants.
Hello, good evening. My name is Aaron Bennett. I am born and raised in Johnson County, so glad that this family is here and enjoying Johnson County. It's great to hear about the love that's here and the support that's here. I'm here representing Texas Health Resources, Texas Health Community Impact specifically, and then also here from Reach Council is Molly and Gracie. They're going to talk about the current grant that we are funding. Okay, there we go. Let's figure out which way I want to look. Okay. So did you know that up to 80% of our health is actually based on the things outside of the doctor's office? So we're talking about access to healthy food, transportation, education, the things that impact our daily lives far more than the doctor and going to the clinic often does. And so at Texas Health, our mission is to improve the health of the people in the communities that we serve. And we recognize in doing this that we have to go outside of our hospitals and clinics. And so we invest in the community and community health and well-being through grant making and strategic collaborations. And so what you see here on the screens is kind of our upstream approach to addressing community health. First, we are guided by data. So we have a community health needs assessment that we do every 3 years to assess what the needs are and where those needs are at. 2025, we just completed one. It is posted on our website at texashealth.org/CHNA. You will find there, because Texas Health serves obviously more than the Johnson County area, there's going to be different community health needs assessment. You will find Johnson County area and the Keene area under Texas Health Cleburne Hospital is where you will find that. We also use regional expertise, and that just really means that we utilize community leaders in the community to help us inform our work and help us determine who to get connected to, what we should be targeting, things of that nature. And then, of course, we partner with community organizations such as Reach Council, where we provide the grant funds for them to address those needs that we have identified in the community health needs assessment. And all of this we do because we want to see measurable change in the community. We recently released a 5-year report. We've only been, Texas Health Community Impact specifically, has only been in operations since 2019. And we've invested $18.2 million across North Texas. $1.2 million of those dollars went specifically to Johnson County. So the southern region, which is where we are at in Johnson County alongside our neighbors in Erath. I won't spend too much time here. What I really want you guys to take away from this slide here is that we have adapted our approach to grant making because this is a unique community, especially when we're comparing it to like Tarrant and Dallas County. We're more rural, we have different needs and different resources. So the real main takeaway here is that for 2 grant cycles, we invested in community health through community collaboration and organizational capacity. And that just means that we invested in the organizations to help the nonprofits here build their resources, help them with bookkeeping, help them with staff development, things of that nature to help them make sure they have the capacity to do the work that they desire to do. We are currently in the 2025-2026 grant cycle, and we took a 2-phase approach, which I will gladly detail a little bit later. But I do want to go ahead and announce that because we are now able to announce that we are going to release our request for proposals for the 2027-2028 grant cycle. And our focus is going to be on innovation, something that has not been done before. We really want to take unique, creative approaches to community health. So this is just some important dates for our request for proposal. It will open on April 13th. It will close on May 29th. We will host a regional webinar on April 16th, and that's just a QR code to sign up for the webinar. And that is going to be the opportunity for us to dive more into our request for proposal and the opportunity for organizations who are interested to ask any questions that they may have. I'm going to go back in time for a second. I talked about how we invested in collaboration building and organizational capacity. And so one of the things that has come out of that is Starting Point. I don't know if any of you have heard of it at this point, but it's essentially like 211. If anyone's familiar with that, where you kind of go online and look at the resources that are available. Again, specific to Johnson County, which this is huge for us. It's up to date, it's recent. This is information that we are proud that has came out of our investment in the community, and it is still being used in our current grant, which Gracie can talk about later. Okay, so the current grant cycle, I mentioned we took a 2-phase approach. Phase 1 was a 6-month competitive planning grant. That really just means that we funded organizations to work together to develop a proposal. We are now currently in phase 2, where one collaborative out of the 3 that we initially excuse me, awarded is now implementing that grant. Here are the participants that participated in our phase 1 grant. So you see we did have 2 organizations and 2 separate collaboratives that participated from Keene. The Keene Church participated in the Johnson County Wellness Initiative Nourishing Communities Together Collaborative. And then for the Together We Grow Collaborative, they have and currently still have Southwest Adventist University participating in their grant. In phase 1, we in Johnson County received $100,000, so we just split that evenly among the 3 collaboratives that we awarded the funds to. This 2-phase approach was a new approach, and so we wanted to make sure that we, what we did made sense, and we were trying to figure out if we wanted to do it again. Excuse me. So we surveyed the phase 1 participants. We were very happy to find out that 100% of them felt more knowledgeable about collaborating with other organizations. So working together beyond just networking and handing business cards, how do we really work together and become more efficient for the community? They also listed their top 3 skills as collaboration, data and evaluation, and communication. Again, as I mentioned, we are now in phase 2, which is the implementation phase in Johnson County. And so you see here that Together We Grow, that collaborative, which is led by Reach Council, and then their partners are listed there, received $250,000 to increase resilience and access to education and employment in our priority zip codes. Again, these zip codes come from our community health needs assessment. And as you see here, Keene is listed as one of our priority zip codes. So at this point, I'm going to allow Gracie and Molly to come up and talk a little bit more about the grant, Seeds to Success. There you go.
Thank you. So my name is Gracie Gray. This is Molly Fuller. And we are part of Reach Council, but we're here representing one of our programs, like Aaron said, our Seeds to Success program. So during phase 1 of the 2-phase approach that she was talking about, we were able to really get into some data. If you think that's interesting statistics, like that, I love it. I could be there, talk about it all day. But we found this one that really stuck with us, and it really shaped our whole entire approach to this. 18% of youth in Johnson County ages 16 to 19 are not enrolled in school, and they're not employed anywhere. And so if you compare that to the state average is 9% and the national average is 11%. So we're much higher here in Johnson County than the other averages. And so it makes you think, why? Why are these kids not connected in school, not connected to their community, not employed? Where are they? What are they doing? So on and so forth. And so we started looking at how are we able to get them reconnected? How can we address the gap in services or the barriers that are stopping them from doing that? And so that is where Seeds to Success was born. This is a program for ages 15 to 25 in those priority zip codes. So it's Keene, Cleburne, Rio Vista, and Alvarado. These kids can come and they can be a part of one-on-one mentorship with Molly. She is our trained peer advocate. So she works with them to determine, what do you want to do with your life? Give them a real opportunity to explore different pathways. Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to trade school? Do you just really need to get your GED and figure out, what your next step might be? She works with them to create an individualized plan, and then they're offered peer support groups to help them just work through those problems, build a community of their own, the people that are, same lived experience and things like that. Skill building workshops, which we've got one coming up at East Cleburne Community Center on April 10th. It's going to be about empowerment, self-love, self-advocacy, just as a kickoff event. Our other topics include how to build a resume, interview skills, how to cook, cooking 101, adulting 101, what do you need to do if it's about to freeze for your car, for your home, things like that maybe these kids were not taught because they didn't have, the standard family structure or role model to teach them this kind of stuff. And then also pro-social activities. As they reach their goals, we want to reward them. We want to keep them on the track of reaching goals, doing what they want to do with their future, being able to seize that. So we reward them by doing some fun activities. So just some criteria, like I said, open to ages 15 to 25. You must reside in those areas. You are able to scan the QR code to join or refer, or you can also email us at s2s@reachcouncil.org, and we will reach out to you, get everyone signed on. And I just want to stress that there's no, other than where your zip code is, there's no requirements. You don't have to have some great dire need. You don't have to be one of those 18% to still benefit from mentorship when planning your future. I think back to when I was about to graduate high school, and I had two amazing parents, still do, thankfully, but just not knowing what to do with your life at such a young age, and just that guidance can help just any kid out there that's already thinking about that and moving towards it. I want Molly to share, just real quick, a brief little success story from one of the participants we've had so far in the program.
Yes, we ended up serving young people of all walks of life. One of our favorite stories is we were informed of a young woman that was living in supported housing, and she had aged out of the foster care system. And when she aged out, she did not have a driver's license, she did not have a high school diploma, and she ended up getting in a relationship with a man, and they got pregnant very early, and she had a young child, and that man was struggling with some substance issues, and domestic violence became an issue. And eventually her child was taken from her, and the cycle, continued when he was put in foster care. So we have been able to work with this young lady, and she is almost done completing her high school steps to finish her, to graduate high school. She has been able to start the process of getting her driver's license, and she's been able to hold gainful employment. We've been able to help her by mentorship, but because Texas Health has been so generous with us, we've been able to cover those fees. And the $11 for a driver's license might not seem a lot, or the $300 to pay for a high school diploma program might not seem like a lot, but whenever you don't have any support system, it's a huge gap. So we were able to help her with those things, and we were able to, in the meantime, help her with transportation to her job. And thankfully, she will be getting her child back full custody sometime early to mid-spring, so that she's going to be able to take care of her child and that cycle can end. So we're very proud of her. And then, if I might add, we also have high achievers that need a little extra help, especially with the economy being the way that it is. Parents don't always want to reach out for help, or they might not qualify for help. So sometimes we can kind of help offset some things with that and help their young person succeed.
Thank you, Molly. One last touch on just the Seeds to Success program. We are also going to be partnering with Paul at the Keene Chamber on their luncheon for the 23rd. If you guys are able to join us, we'd love to have you. I think we're going to do barbecue. It's going to be awesome. But just as another way to get this word out to people who this program could benefit, we're here for the kids. And if you don't know much about Reach Council, I'm going to just briefly talk about other things we do, but we really are focused on youth and families in all of our programs. We have a coalition where we partner with 12 different sectors in the county community, including healthcare, education, law enforcement, so on and so forth, because they each have a different perspective in their day-to-day life of what these youth and families are going through, that we can really work together to come up with a good solution that our community has the capacity to use. And then we also have youth programs. These are youth-led and adult-guided. So we give the power to the kids. We are trying to build leaders in our communities and our schools. So we've got a youth coalition where we're going to be opening our application process up for that, grades 7 through 12, just empowering them and giving them opportunities to be that leader in their school as well as in their community. We have a youth recovery program for ages 13 to 21. This is for students, youth that are either at risk or have already started using substances. Vaping has been a huge issue in all the school districts that I have worked with in Johnson County, and so just trying to help them break that habit and live a life of sobriety, and that also has some, goal forming and things like that for their future as well in that program. We offer trainings, overdose response, like Narcan, workplace burnout, emerging drug trends in the community, youth mental health. These are for parents, families, businesses. We can kind of adapt it to whatever you guys may need, if that is ever a need. And then we also do prevention education in lots of the school districts. We're around for Red Ribbon Week in October at pretty much we're all over the place. But just wanted to share a little bit about that. And then here are some ways that you can contact us. So anything community related, you can reach out to me. I'm the assistant director of our community programs. Seeds to Success, Molly is gonna be your girl. And then we've got kind of a general inquiry email address there as well, but we'd love to hear from you and see what we can do for the city of Keene.
Are there any questions for myself or Gracie and Molly? None? I have a few flyers if I can hand them to you. If not, thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate it.
Sounds like good programs. Okay, next, city manager comments.
Good evening, council, community. Thank you very much for, I'm pretty sure you guys sponsored a luncheon last year too, right? Yes, we did. Yeah, that was very nice. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you again this month. Yes, good evening, council, community here, community at home. We have a lot of good going on.
Yes.
So the first one, forgive me, kind of been one of those emotional days.
Oh, I'm
Right there-
telling you.
Right there with you.
Let
I'm
me turn my-
emotionally exhausted. I'm going home, going to bed after this. So the first thing I wanted to report on is May 9th, Project Hero will be coming through here again. And I'm actually going to read this so the citizens at home can hear this too. Project Hero has a tradition of coming through Keene for more than 11 years, and I want to give a big shout out to our police department, but mostly Allison Arnold, who has been organizing this for years. They support community-based rehabilitation and recovery programs for veterans, as well as raise awareness for national PTSD mental health crisis to make a difference in the lives of veterans and first responders, along with their families. They have built more than 200 adaptive bikes for injured veterans, donated more than 2,500 bikes to veterans, and logged more than 30,000 bicycle miles in 30 states and 6 countries to bring hope, recovery, resilience, and support of America's healing heroes. And last year I got to see this for the first time, and I would encourage our community to come that morning around 7:30. And our police department escorts them from Cleburne, and they come through, and the Pathfinders from the church provide them breakfast, and it is just such a neat event to be a part of. So that's May 9th, the morning of May 9th, so we'll remind you all again in the community next month. Now, the fun one, God is blessing this community, metal plate. It is official, the money has funded, and jobs are coming to Keene. They purchased almost 60 acres, and this is where the story gets better. They are a galvanizing plant, and at our next council meeting, May 7th, they will be doing a formal presentation at council to our community about what this means. They are very excited. They want to be involved with this community. And when we first started going down this path, they typically do one manufacturing facility, and then they partner with one of their clients within 2 to 5 years to build a second manufacturing facility. One of their clients reached out to them, and come to find out they also do metal stamping. And they have moved, their biggest client that they do this for has moved to Midlothian. So they have requested for them to step up the amount that they produce, which is mostly coming out of Houston. So they have decided that they will be building 2 manufacturing facilities, and instead of 80 to 150 jobs, now I'm hearing, when this is all said and done, up to 250 jobs for this community. Definitely next council will be looking forward to And this has all just been transpiring this week, the additional good that is coming to this community. Also, when they're here doing their presentation, next council, this is, again, Carrie and Keith, thank you for putting this together. We are also going to be starting a community hour where you sip, share, and connect. And so roughly from 5:15 till about 5-10 minutes before council starts, we are going to start having different departments provide some sort of refreshment before council so that they can get to know the people that work in the city, and the people that work in the city can get to know the community. So it'll be a perfect little kickoff, and of course we'll have more promotional things that Keith's putting together. So thank you, Carrie and Keith, for doing that. The Luz Arouso Pocket Park that was donated by Gary Heinrich is now in the process of being built out. This is including perimeter fencing, playground equipment, picnic tables, and a grill to start with. And we will hopefully, with the generosity of the B-Board, continue to build that park out. And ultimately, the vision someday is going to be to connect our two parks. So, as you know, Shelley Drive, there were some citizens that came and kind of presented a petition. I just wanted to give you an update on that. We did have our engineers come out. They took pictures, have looked at it, and we will be putting together a formal presentation on what it all would take to try to fix that, and of course, all the legalities and all the things. So just wanted to give you an update that we are working on that, just in case they're reaching out. Now, here's another fun one that, again, God is blessing and His timing is perfect. The fleet is starting to arrive. Most of our fleet vehicles are being outfitted right now. We suspect a large bulk of them will start delivering in the next couple months, with one of them already delivering, and the rest will be shortly behind. But this is perfect timing because we have 2 police vehicles that are completely out of commission, and thousands and thousands of dollars to try to just fix them, to keep them patched and on the road. So the timing is perfect, and the best part is that right now, this is just projected, because until it's all said and done, the dust settles, we don't know for sure, but right now, the fleet program is projected to come in at $127,000 under budget this year. So
Great.
God's good, He's moving.
Yeah.
A lot to be happy for and a lot to be proud of. So I hope the community is seeing that and feeling that as they commune in this community. So thank you, council.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of our city manager?
I didn't want to talk before you because I didn't want to spoil anything you had to say. So I'm glad I let you speak first. But last month I talked about just the trajectory of our city, and I mean, isn't it just evident? I mean, we are moving, and I know God's doing something great for our little city, and so I'm just so excited. We get to hear some of the back things before you said them tonight to all of us, and in my mind I was just like, God, you are just so good, and it just keeps warming my heart that I get to sit up here and do this and make good decisions with you guys, and this is just a good feeling right now. So thank you, God, appreciate that.
Well, and the other exciting thing is there's so many things that we just can't share that are happening behind the scenes of real needs that are coming to this community, and it's not the 5,000 homes, and yes, we're growing our community, but the needs of our community are being met, and it's in these back office conversations we're having right now, and it's going to be so exciting for Dawn and I when we can start really announcing some of these things that are happening. So we just again pray that the community be patient with us. The thing I've learned from corporate to government is it doesn't go near as fast, but it is happening. So
For sure. So anything else? Okay. Consent agenda. All items listed below have been previously discussed, require no deliberation, or are routine by the city council, and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion of the items. Items to be withdrawn from the consent agenda for separate discussion by the city council. If discussion is desired, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Otherwise, approval of the consent agenda authorizes the city manager to implement each item in accordance with the staff's recommendation. A, consider approval of the minutes of the Keene City Council special meeting held on March 1 and 2, 2026 in Granbury. 2, consider approval of the minutes of the regular Keene City Council meeting held on March the 5th of 2026.
I make a motion that we approve consent agenda A and B.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, public hearing items. Would be general 7A, review, discuss, and consider approval of the second reading of resolution number 2026-495, approving the following EDC Type B board projects approved by the Keene Community Development Corporation: the purchase and installation of a skate park, the purchase and installation of specific sidewalks in the city, the naming of the pocket park to Luz Aruzo Park, and the purchase and installation of improvements to the park, the purchase and installation of additional secondary outdoor warning sirens, and the purchase and installation of additional lighting at Elsia Carver Park. B, review, discuss, and consider approving the expenditures up to $115,000 to repair well 2 at 12.
Excuse me, we gotta vote on A first.
I'm sorry?
We gotta vote on A first.
Discussing A.
We're discussing A. Okay, is there any discussion on A?
Yeah, she's,
We're on a roll. We're on a roll.
we're just
We're
gonna
going.
keep reading them all.
We want to be out of here, right?
I would like to comment on this in our discussion. So it's funny how God works. So I voted no the last time we came here to discuss this, and wouldn't you know it, I ended up going to 2 different skate parks by way of Ubering people to or from skate parks. And I dropped somebody off, and of course I get to sit there for a second and I get to see what's happening, who's doing what on the skate parks, because there's quite a few people there. And this is 2 different skate parks in Fort Worth, just so everybody's clear. And then I pick up another passenger at a skate park, and this is the big one in Fort Worth. This is probably like 10,000 square feet. It's massive. And it is full of kids, and they're all trying things, you know, that they probably can't do. And, you know, I get to watch it from the sidelines. And then finally the young woman who comes to my vehicle has a skateboard with her, and she gets in my car. And I get to ride with her for 20 minutes and ask her questions about why she comes to these skate parks. And I know it was a God thing, because I left feeling uneasy about the way I voted. I felt like I shouldn't have voted no, but I was hung up on something. And when I got to speak with this young lady about why she comes to skate parks, it just totally made me want to change my vote. So today, you know, this thing's on the agenda, and I'm like, okay, I'm voting yes for this now. So, but I wanted to explain that because it makes me look like I'm flipping sides. But when God sends you 2 people, you know, at a skate park and forces you to pay attention and look at those things, you just can't ignore things like that. And so, anyway, again, so I'm all for the skate park. So, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Welcome to the light.
I didn't say I purchased a skateboard. If there's no more discussion, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item A. Did you need?
We do have to have a reading of the resolution.
Spoil the fun.
Speed read, I promise.
Go ahead.
Okay, City of Keene Resolution Number 2026-495, a resolution of the City of Keene City Council approving and authorizing the following Type B projects. The Keene Community Development Corporation, CDC, will provide funds for 2 additional outdoor secondary warning sirens, additional lighting to Elsa Carver Park, improvements to the Luz Arauzo Park, the creation of a skate park, and the addition of sidewalks to the city. Whereas the Board of Directors of the KCDC, a Type B Economic Development Corporation, has initially approved the following projects, subject to final approval after conducting public hearings as required by law, to provide funds for the purchase and installation of a skate park and related amenities in the amount not to exceed $300,000, to provide funds for the purchase and installation of additional sidewalks in the city in the amount not to exceed $200,000, to provide funds for the improvement of the green space to be known as Luz Arauzo Park, to be used as a community space in an amount not to exceed $50,000, to provide funds for the purchase and installation of secondary outdoor warning sirens in the amount not to exceed $100,000, and to provide funds for the purchase and installation of additional lighting to Eliza Carver Park complex and parking in the amount not to exceed $194,000, hereinafter the projects. Whereas the Board of Directors of the KCDC found and determined that the projects are permissible projects pursuant to the Development Corporation Act, Chapter 505. And whereas the City Council of the City of Keene also finds and determines that the projects are permissible projects pursuant to the Development Corporation Act, Chapter 505. Now therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Keene, Section 1, that the findings and the premises contained in the preamble above are hereby deemed to be true and correct. Section 2, that the public hearings on the undertaking of the projects were held by the KCDC during a meeting of the Board of Directors, and that notice of the public hearings was published as required by law. Section 3, that this resolution will come back to the City Council for final approval on second reading after the Board of Directors has approved the projects after conducting the public hearings on the projects. Section 4, that the City Council finds and determines that the projects are permissible projects pursuant to the Development Corporation Act, Chapter 505, and the City Council hereby approves and authorizes the projects as described in this resolution. It was already passed and adopted on the first reading on the 5th day of March, 2026.
That was a lot.
Okay.
So I'm going to proudly make a motion to approve item A.
I'm probably going to second it.
All those in favor? Okay. Okay. To review and discuss and consider approving an expenditure up to $115,000 to repairs well number 12.
I think we
Any
can
discussion?
move on this one pretty quickly. So the bad news was a pump went out. The average life of pumps, I have learned through this, is that it's 10 years, and this pump was right at 10 years. So my next question when I found about this is, what's the current age of all our other pumps? And the good news is the next oldest one is like 6 years, so we should be good on this. Obviously, this was not something that was factored into our budget. So there's always reserve money, but I did reach out to Derek Turner. He's the one overseeing that TWDB grant, and because this is something that we had put, wells is something we had put in there, I do have a follow-up meeting with him on Monday to discuss some other grants too for water and all that thing, but that aside, he said that in a matter of 2 to 3 days, his team can put together, this is considered what they consider an emergency. And we can actually utilize all the funds for the $115,000 from the TWDB $3.5 million grant. So unless you tell me otherwise, if you want me to take it out of reserve, we can, but I would recommend we go with the grant money.
Any discussion? Any discussion?
Do we need to make a motion and clarify it that way? So that way it's very line specific?
That would be good. It is definitely over that 100,000 threshold that that state says we can do. So it would be nice if you would just give us the official go forward.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to Go ahead and fix the $115,000 repair to well 12
With the,
with, what?
the grant money.
With the grant money that was just discussed.
Second.
Okay, and a second by Troy Smith. And all those in favor? Okay. 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 Next, that motion is carried. On number 6, review and discuss and consider action to adopt a revised boards commission membership appointment policy, amending the section prohibiting council from being appointed to a board or commission to allow for council to be appointed in the event there is a shortage of appointed members.
This was just that minor tweak per our last conversation, that in the event nobody and there is a vacancy, a board member could fill it.
Is that on all boards or just the AB board?
Well, only the ones that legally council can be on. Like,
Okay.
council can't be on P and Z, it
Right.
can only be A and B.
Right, okay, on the approved boards.
Or, you have two yellow
Oh, yes.
cards on this, yeah.
One is Paul Knott. Paul, you wanted to discuss 7C?
Okay. Thank you, Mayor and Council. And the exhibit I have to accompany my presentation is 3 white sheets of paper that are stapled together, and they have a blue line like this across the top. So I am concerned about a shortage of appointed members. So that would be a lack of a quorum, right? And I'm sure those boards have stipulations to deal with people missing when there is a lack of a quorum. But that's not what I want to talk about now. I do want to say Gracie Gray is the real deal. The Reach Council is respected throughout North Texas, and they will be sponsoring the entire luncheon on April 23rd. Okay, I'm here to talk about a person serving on multiple boards simultaneously and to speak against it. It leads to myriad problems. Here are some reasons to avoid one person serving on multiple boards. And I'm just going to highlight these bullet points. You can read the supporting descriptions of each bullet point. Creates a conflict of interest, it's a time commitment, reduced effectiveness, reduced diversity. I do want to have you read along with me there. Eliminating overboarding. So already this is a negative term in civil government. By reducing the opportunity to recruit fresh talent. So overboarding already is a concern. And then constructive thinking, and you bring the same background experience, it's the same prejudices and biases to each board. And finally, and I thought this was very interesting, it attracts suspicion to the council as to why is it appointing a council colleague to multiple boards. And that's something we don't need. Last month, I gave Mayor Gillen, Acting Mayor Gillen, the next sheet, which is page 2, this list of names. And there was accompanying phone numbers. And to her credit, she did contact quite a few of these people.
All that had numbers.
Yes, all that had phone numbers, and I didn't have every phone number. But as you told me, I think Jason Fothery, Lee Montoya, and down at the Myerson, I spent about 15 minutes with Steve Stafford and Bev Stafford, and they were very interested. So there are people out there who want to be available. We just have to go after them. Okay, let's move on to page 3. The last council meeting, I felt we may have left the impression that because the city council is having trouble, or it's a challenge to recruit new members for Type A, Type B, Board of Adjustment, and so on, that the residents in Keene do not volunteer for any organization. And that's just not true. Keene is a volunteering town. If you refer to page 3, this is very briefly put together yesterday and today. in talking to the principals at these entities. And I'll just highlight a few. Keene Church Board has 55 board members that meet 12 times a year. The Keene Chamber Flag Crew has 18, and there's usually 12 that show up, including Mr. Smith and Mr. Easley. The Christmas Parade has 31 volunteers, in addition to the 26 paid, like firefighters and police, to total of 57 people who put on the Christmas Parade. Keene ISD has a concession stand for track and for football games, and there's 10 people that volunteer to operate that, and there's 16 events per year. SWAU Board of Directors has 32 volunteer board members. Of course, they're from coast to coast. Keene Elementary School, and the elementary school has a parent-teacher organization that has 15 volunteers who assist the teachers every day in that grade school. And Loops of Love, even though they've moved out of where Nito Ortiz's office is, mop and broom, they still meet, and there's 10 people sewing those prayer shawls. So volunteering is going on. Town Hall Estates has 5 people who show up every day and play checkers or chess or read to the residents there. Yes, there's some duplications, and I've highlighted a few that I'm aware of. Steve Weaver is on the flag crew. He's on church maintenance. Jonathan Seitz is on parade planning. He's a chamber board member. Gwen Beeson's on the flag crew, type A. She stitches, she and Debbie Belt stitch all the flags that are initially identified as need repair. They are stitched and put back in service before we have to buy another flag. There's usually about 15 of those each time we put up the flags. There certainly are others. So why don't residents volunteer for public service? Let's go to page 4. I asked my 2 best friends, Perplexity AI and Chat GTP. And there's the question, and it's right there, and so you can duplicate it. When you ask Perplexity and Chat GPT, why are residents reluctant to volunteer for public service councils and boards? Now, the following paragraph is summarized in these bullet points. Time constraints, fear of responsibility. They're kind of skeptical. They don't think their participation is going to make any difference. They're not aware. Steve and Bev Stafford were not aware of how Type A and how Type B work and what they do with the 2-cent sales tax and how the city takes 1 cent and Type A and Type B share the other cent, and a half cent goes to each, and that's where that money comes from. So I think those people are interested, and I think others will be interested as they're educated. The very last there, people are more willing to volunteer when the role is clearly defined. Let's go to page 5. I asked Chat GPT the very same question. Why are residents reluctant to volunteer for public service councils and boards? Many are the very same as what Perplexity said. Time constraints, lack of awareness, perceived lack of qualifications. I'm not qualified. I can't help. What can I do? But here's a new one, political tension and conflict avoidance. And that's my wife exactly. Bonnie she just wants to teach nursing. She does not want to become involved in government, but she'll help in other areas. This just isn't her thing. And finally, number 7, look at that, fear of public scrutiny. People are concerned about criticism. I'm going to digress here because I wanted to talk about this for some time and talk about Aristotle. And if you are online and can look up Aristotle, how to avoid criticism, do that right now. If you can do that in your computers, Aristotle, how to avoid criticism. He was a Greek philosopher. He lived about 350 years before Christ. And academicians, Greek historians debate whether he actually said this, but enough believe that he did that I'm going to give him credit for it. Aristotle, how to avoid criticism. If you had it, I wish you could say it with me. Aristotle said how to avoid criticism. Be nothing, say nothing, do nothing. Okay, so Chuck's aware of that. Be nothing, say nothing, do nothing. So there's no way that city council, Type A, Type B, are going to avoid, are going to avoid criticism, but they just want to make sure that they're dealing from their heart. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Here's the close. Page 6. People are volunteering in Keene. It's just that public service may not be their interest. And yet, we've really experienced an influx of some new faces. I mean, Johnny Shaw's been around forever, but now here he sits in the city council. I know Bob Chapman, you've been here, you're really new as far as I'm concerned. You just got here. You came through B, and now here you are, sitting on the city council. And look at Alma Davila, Daniel Gathings, Rolando Colindres, Ephraim Castellanos, Nellie Umberg. Nellie Umberg lost the city council race and bounced back, and now she's really serving on type B. So doing a good job. And that's the way it's supposed to work. Good. It's supposed to be like that. You're doing a good job. But praise God that there was an open seat for them that wasn't taken by somebody who was already on the city council.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, West Ram, we want to discuss 7C.
Okay, West Shram. I currently live at 210 Nottingham Lane, Salado, Texas. I lived in Keene here for about 35 years and have recently moved. So I'm not a citizen of Keene anymore. But I served on boards. The first one I served on actually was building standards. And I don't know if we still have a building standards committee, but we cleaned a lot of the decrepit homes and homes or buildings that were being used for drugs during that period of time. And we had trouble getting anybody to serve with us. There were periods of time when there were just 2 of us on that one particular council. I served on Type A. And Type A, we had a tough time getting people to actually serve on Type A. And I'll take exception to Paul on this because people don't want to serve. We can't get them to serve. But if we had a newspaper again, and I moved to a little town that is 2,800 people, has a newspaper, and we read that newspaper. And so we don't know what's going on. The people that are moving into this community don't know what's going on. You've got a lot of new faces, and you're going to have to reach out to them. As far as what I see on this one agenda item, there's an opposition to having city council people serve on these boards, and I think that you need at least one city council person on the board to help steer that board because they know what's going on at city council and what the atmosphere is as far as really what city council is looking for as well. Even though A and B boards are completely separate entities, they are not city entities. They are paid by the taxes, as Paul talked about, but we need that combination of the people, at least one person on city council, A and B, and that would be my very strong stance on that, my recommendation.
Okay, thank you, Wes. Anyone else have any comment?
I remember the day very well when we had a newspaper, of course, and people took criticism. The Beesons, the Bischoffs, the Ackermans, the Schrams were always criticized. What are they after? Power? They're running for this, they're running for that, they're serving on everything. And that's because no one else would serve. No one else would serve them. So the Ackermans and the Beesons and the Schrams and the Bischoffs and Heinrichs year after year. But it's different now. That's when the town was 4,000. Now, we're almost 8. It's doubled. So those people are out there. I just gave you 45 names. They're there. Maybe there's more interested in what I said. But, you know, I'll help you make those calls. Anyway,
Paul, all of us would like to have more people interested in getting on our boards. I guarantee you that. And I'm no longer president of Type A board now. I'm still on the board. I have someone that has applied for it. And should he really be sincerely interested, and it was one of the ones that I called, I will step down so he can have that seat. Because he's a good man. He has a wife that is not well. And he, just like some of the others that I talked to on your list, they had other obligations. They would think about it.
well,
He
I
was
think
the
I know who
only
you're
one.
talking about.
Yeah,
He's a
he
member
was
of the
the
flag
only
crew also.
one that actually applied. And so my comment to you about that is that we try. We want them to come and apply for those seats. Now, sometimes they don't have enough time. Seriously, I could use my time doing something else too. But I also want to serve my city. And so that's important. But if it's more important for him to have the seat, I will gladly give it to him. Okay?
Just real quick, I feel like we're kind of getting off topic. We've discussed this a lot.
Yeah,
This is one of those
I
things
know.
that have been discussed a lot over the course of last year. And I think the fear is that we're going to find ourselves in a situation where the boards are not full. The good news is the boards are full, and there is people that are interested. This is just a fail-safe. So in the event that there is a position and no one wants to take it, because, you know, like Paul's little presentation that really struck out to me was the fact that people don't want criticism. Well,
That's
you
true.
know, we are
They don't.
definitely a city of volunteers, but there's a difference between volunteering for an event and volunteering to be in the public eye. So I think it's just a fail-safe to say, in the event that there is no interest and a council member is willing to serve, we have that latitude, is all this is really what this is. So,
Just an alternate position.
correct. So I think that's it.
I think that's good.
And I believe we talked about that at the last meeting, and I think the consensus was to offer that as a solution, because I've been to the Type B board meeting, because I served on that board as well, and there was a time that I came here and we didn't have a quorum, so we left. And had we had somebody that we could have appointed, you know, from a council member, we would have had a quorum, we would have been able to discuss and do what we needed to do, so.
And the other thing sometimes that I think might get forgotten is council has ultimate say, you know?
Right.
In the event that, you know, there is an empty position and one of the council members says, well, I'll do it, the rest of council can still decide whether or not that person can take that position.
Exactly.
So keep that in mind too, as an additional fail-safe, if you will.
Right. Okay, is there any other discussion on this? Okay, is there a motion that we,
I move that we approve this, because I was the one that was against it. But as a fail-safe that has multiple approvals before anybody can do it, I'm for it just as a fail-safe. So I move that we approve it.
Second.
Bob, second, have a motion from Remy Shaw and Bob Chapman, second.
Troy Smith.
I'm sorry?
And Troy.
And Troy, I'm sorry, Troy as a second. All those in favor? Okay, motion is approved.
Also, since you kind of brought it up, and again, this is just to make sure we're being transparent and all those wonderful things. It was kind of recommended to us by the city attorney that the council approve and make sure that, you know, everyone's okay that Samantha's on the type A board for this time? Do I do a vote? Yeah, if we can just get a consensus that each one of you are okay, so that there is no blurring of lines here.
And I do believe we discussed that as we went through the whole process. So, yeah, I think we
We
should.
discussed it, but we never really did a consensus to where, make sure each one of you, and we have a majority that everybody's okay with it. So that, again, so the public knows that we're all on the same page here.
No, we just need a consensus, so we just say, yeah, like, I'm in favor of it.
I'm in favor.
And I'm, just so, like, again, for transparency, a year ago, we started discussing this matter, and the consensus was that if you were on a board, you could serve until the end of your term. Like, if you were on council, you could finish out your term, and then you couldn't reapply if you were still on council. So that was the verbiage that we originally had set out to portray, so that way there wasn't you couldn't overlap or do anything outside that purview.
Okay, but like I said, it's just been kind of this
Yeah.
discussion, so I appreciate you all doing a consensus.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me make one comment, please. I would like to serve my term out on the A board, just to see the things that we've been doing, that they get completed and everything, as I'm sure you and Don are going to make sure they do. But if Mr. Leroy Montoya applied for this job, and he wants this, or the spot, my spot on the board, I will relinquish it to him. Retire beforehand. But if not, then I would like to serve out my term. Okay? Welcome. Now, let's see. Okay, do we need a motion on that or anything, or just they voted? Okay.
We already did and voted.
We did a consensus.
You already did it, huh?
We're good.
Item D.
Okay, and then this is number 7D. Review and discuss and give a direction regarding posting a dress code for those who attend and wish to speak to council, or to revise the rules of order and procedure. Ms. Russell, what did the city attorney advise on this matter?
Okay, so it was, council had asked about a dress code in response to a citizen request or complaint on the matter. And it was advised that we already have a courtroom rules of decorum, which addresses dress code and, food and drinks in this courtroom. And the council can just make the statement that they are going to follow that same rules of decorum, since it's the exact same room. Or if you wish to put it in your rules of order and procedure, we can certainly do that, but we can post, they're out there right now for people to read. It's the exact same verbiage that was provided in your packet. If you wish to do that, we will just keep them posted permanently on the wall. Otherwise, we can put them in your rules of order and order and procedure. Either way, just let us know.
So if we keep things posted, and we see something that we don't like, or we don't think is proper, we can just talk about it right then and say, please excuse yourself? Is that?
Yes.
I mean, we don't want to get any lawsuits over someone, but just please excuse yourself and go get dressed.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds easier to me than to
Yeah.
rules of order.
I think we should just adhere to that one and keep it posted.
And this is where we hold court, so it's, kind of the respecting the room or the office, per se.
Do we need to vote on that? Have a motion on that, Holly?
You can give a motion or just direct staff to post the courtroom rules of decorum by the doors, and that you will all follow.
Excuse me,
So,
RJ?
Ray Johnson, 1009 Christine Street. What are we talking about this dress code for? Is there a reason? Council, was there a reason for it?
There was a citizen that requested it, Ray.
Okay, you got one person that's off talking about it. But you got, what are you talking about dress code? How that's, but we're not in the courthouse.
Well, he was,
We're not going to court. it's a whole different setup than being court. When you go to court, you know what you gotta dress like. Coming to council, I don't care what you dress like, as long as you come here with respect. Now, if you're gonna come here like I see so many people, I could see why. You know, like he said, you know, ask them to leave. That's the way I believe it. But we're not in the courthouse. I mean, I come here with shorts on, but I come here with, you know, with respect too, with shorts. So that's what I'm talking about. We're not in the courthouse trying to judge. Otherwise, there is a problem.
Well, we had a citizen that was where you were at, talking to council, and the back camera caught that much crack.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I jumped on him before.
Well, and
I jumped on the guy before, so
Yeah.
there's no shame in the game.
That's why we.
But you got one person, so you're talking about one out of 50 people, or 20 people, 10 people?
So,
You know, you profiling people now.
No, we're not
That's what you're
profiling.
doing. Yeah, it is, that profiling.
No.
RJ, there were a lot of people that have complained about the dress in the council meetings.
Well, if I come here, I'm gonna come with shorts on. If you got something to do, then throw me out.
Oh, well,
That's all I'm gonna say.
so I think this goes to the respect of the room, the respect of what we do here. When I began to attend city council, I wore my good blue jeans and a nice polo shirt. I came dressed to fit the room. I didn't come in basketball shorts and a white T-shirt. I came presentable because I respected the room, I respected what's happening here, and I respected the city council members that were here. And I think that's all we're asking, is to, if you want to be respected and respect this room, let's dress respectfully.
Well, I do, but the thing is, you wouldn't even come to council till you just was running. That's the only time you showed up.
That's
So
not
your
true.
excuse is, you came with
not
all
true.
this stuff
RJ.
on, because you were trying to look pretty like you are now.
That's not true.
That's what I can tell it is.
RJ, thank you. Thank you for your comments.
There is I was doing a little bit of research on this, and there's a thing called reverence, right? And of course, yes, this is a courtroom, but the room still stands, and the reverence is that you continue to honor this place no matter who's in here, and that's what the reverence is all about. So it's not always about the courtroom proceedings per se, but it's about the reverence of what, this symbol is for and what this courtroom is designed to do. And so you revere to what the standards are in this room. And that's the research that I did in accordance with that, so.
And RJ, common courtesy, like for instance, one of the rules on the dress code out there is taking your hat off when you come in.
I agree with that.
Well, the reason for that is our mothers and dads have always told us, take your hat off, or take it off for dinner, take it off when you go into a movie, those different kinds of things. And this is just out of respect. A lot of this is a respect for the place.
When I was on council, I came with a suit on, okay? I knew how I
Yes,
dressed.
you did.
Professional. But coming in here with shorts on, depend on how you dress with shorts. But now you talking about council, look at Johnny. I like Johnny, but look how he dressed. Is that
Well-
way a councilman should come to council?
Well,
I apologize, I just came in from work.
Doesn't matter. Are you a
RJ,
councilman?
Yes.
Okay,
RJ.
and that's the way I think about it. If you're gonna
RJ.
be a council, come in here with respect. Not come in with work clothes on.
At least I
RJ.
showed up.
I never came in here with work clothes and got off and went home and changed.
well, he did not have time. He's on council. He made council. He's covered.
But if you're profiling people,
He-
you need to profile council.
He's not
That's all
wearing
I'm saying.
shorts. He's not wearing shorts, but anyway. A councilman is here with a reason, and he is dressed appropriately. He doesn't have a hat on. He's not showing anything he shouldn't be showing, and he's respectful. Thank you. Anybody else have any comments on this? Okay.
I do want to, I'm gonna sympathize with Ray a little bit here, right? So for the brand new guy who's never been in here and walks through those doors because he says, hey, I just saw somebody post that they want to be at, or there's a city council meeting tonight and they want to show up and they don't understand a dress code. And they walk right by that sign, don't even look at it, and they just walk right in here. What's the, are we gonna ask Chief Kidd or Chief Warner to go speak to that person and say, hey, you can't be here unless you have, the proper attire? Or are we gonna say, we'll allow you to sit in this one, but for the next time, we'd ask that you would do this? Are we giving strikes and, balls and strikes, or are we calling fouls and giving them chances? I'm kind of playing devil's advocate is what I'm trying to do, just so that way there has to be a little bit of an understanding. I mean, I get courtroom, when you show up for a courtroom,
The judges.
and and you have your paperwork before you get here, you already know the rules are set, and it tells you that in the verbiage. It even tells you that if you're asked to come here to be a juror, it tells you how to properly dress. So, but people don't know that when they come to this place. So, how do we address that?
I think that's a question
No
to ask
pun
the
intended.
attorney to how we properly should enforce it.
And
Yeah.
our attorney will be at the next meeting just because of some things, but what we were just kind of discussing is, and again, to speak to Ray Johnson, what he was commenting on, I can go to a court and sit in the peanut gallery and pretty much, I don't necessarily have to be dressed in a proper attire. But if I'm going to address the court, okay, and again, it's up to the presiding judge whether or not they want to enforce it, okay? And so I think having a standard is not necessarily a bad thing, but I also believe in having compassion, right? Or understanding the event. And so it can even be something, and again, we can discuss this with the attorney more. Again, this was an issue that was on the agenda because of citizens bringing it to us. This is not just us going, hey, we don't want people to wear certain things, right? And so it can even be one of those things where when addressing counsel, if they're coming to address counsel, it's just like a court, and you need to be dressed and be respectful to the position. So again, these are just little ideas that we can discuss more.
It seems like we could make a statement that doesn't necessarily require enforcement. Does that make sense? Because we make a statement that we require cell phones to be turned into silent.
And,
But if they ring, they will go out.
and for me, it's the hat thing. I mean, that's how I was raised. You don't
Sure.
wear a hat. And if you're wearing a T-shirt that is, speaking negatively to a class of people or whatever, that's more of the concern that I have for our community than are you buttoned up wearing a tie? That's not what this is meant to be. It is meant to create a level of reverence and respect for what this room represents.
Well, is there any possibility that we can have a male council member or a male from the audience to ask men to pull up their pants from down around their ankles with a belt or something before they come in?
I have told somebody, and the same person you guys are talking about. Troy knows it. I told the guy what he should do.
Well, that's the concern of some of the people, and again, we want to try to get more and more people coming into council meetings, so we would like it to be, comfortable for everybody.
We're not trying to make a church.
No, we don't want that.
I agree with what you said. Going to court, everybody knows. I mean, when you go to court, go with shorts and see what the judge tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there. I've seen how they talk to people. So, I'm just saying, this is a council meeting. I can see when you come showing your butt and doing all that crazy shit, that it's not showing respect for you guys and the people out here.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, if you come in here with shorts and you dress nice, I don't think there should be a problem with that.
Okay, Ray.
I'll say it again. I think we can have a statement of a dress code without enforcement. It's a recommendation.
And maybe you need to talk to your lawyer about asking
Yeah, how
people
we
to
can do
leave.
this.
Like a statement on the agenda?
Yes, just like we have a handicap
Needs to be on the
statement and
agenda.
such, that, city council meetings are, business casual dress, or whatever the term needs to be.
Well, there was a language verbiage in there on that code too, so there was more than just a dress code on there.
And we can circle up with Judy more.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
again, this is
Okay,
just us
so we're going to go over all of that with
trying
her,
to
with Judy.
talk through some of this
Okay.
concern from citizens, so.
Is Judy planning on being at the next council can I just,
Yeah, kick it.
make a motion to postpone this until the next
Yes.
meeting?
Second.
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion to postpone this. for
Second.
The next agenda.
All right, thank you.
All those favor of postponing this? Okay. E, review and discuss and take action to consider rescheduling or canceling the June 4th, 2026 regular council meeting due date to administration staff's absences and attendance seminars and conferences.
This is
Ms.
a little
Russell?
bit of a housekeeping item. As you all remember, last summer, summers get busy.
Oh, yes.
And so June 4th, both the primary and secondary people that kind of make sure this event goes, or this meeting goes smoothly, will be out in training. And so I'm simply kind of putting it out there that, you know, we're still a few months away, but June 4th is going to be a little bit harder to make the meeting go. So either look at the third Thursday, which is June 18th, or if we get closer and there's really nothing to discuss, to just cancel it. But either way, I just need council to be okay with us not having or moving the June 4th, if that's all right.
Are we going to be entering budget season at that time?
July. We'll be busy pulling things together for you, yes.
Well, at this time, I think we put it on the 18th and then review it in May.
Okay,
So you want to change it to June 18th?
yes, if you all are,
That's my motion. I make a motion, we put it at June 18.
Do we, sorry, I'm going to pause on that one. I was also looking at July, right? So we have July 2nd. So between the 18th and July 2nd is less than 2 weeks, darn near, right? Or it's right at 2 weeks. Do we want to move that one as well, or do you feel like budget's going to be
no, I think we.
almost
get back
weekly
on-
in that?
I think we get back on schedule.
Okay.
Going into budget season, there's a good chance, like we did last year, that we do every 2 weeks because, again, we're going to want to do,
Lots
you
of
know,
work.
we're going to have more meetings during budget season, so.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't want you to
I
feel
appreciate
like
it. No, I appreciate
2 weeks is all we get to get things together.
Yeah, we're-
Holly's looking at me saying amen to that.
We learned last year, so.
Okay. All right. What was your motion?
We move the June 4 meeting to June 18.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Okay, and then, okay, executive session council, do we need to recess for executive council? Ms. Russell, would you please read the agenda items?
Sorry. Pursuant to the Texas Opens Meeting Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code, the city council may recess into executive session at any time during the meeting. That a need arises for the city council to seek advice from the city attorney as to any posted item on and by the following authority. A, the Texas Government Code 551071, consultation with an attorney for advice about pending litigation. And then B, Texas Government Code, Section 551076, deliberation regarding security devices or security audits to deliberate and the deployment or specific occasions for implementation of security personnel or devices.
Okay. Time is now 7:28, and we recess for executive session.
You did like, you started going down instead of across? So I'm just trying to rewrite it real quick, hang on. Risk attorney to timely file an answer to the lawsuit filed against the city, city council, and city manager by Vincent Castro and take any measures necessary.
I'll second.
Okay. Troy Smith made a motion and Bob Chapman did a second. Is everybody in approval or? Okay,
There we go.
everybody's in approval? Okay,
I move that we give the city manager the action on 8B to go ahead and move forward with it.
Second.
okay. So B is also given a, okay, approval on it. Okay, is there anything else on this? Is there any requests for future agenda items?
This is more of a question, but did we ever have that conversation with TxDOT as far as a turn lane at 67 and Old Betsy on the eastbound, westbound direction, excuse me?
Yeah, so I actually have one of our semi-monthly meetings coming up that is already on their radar. Unfortunately, the shoulder isn't wide enough just to turn it into a turn lane, and so that's something they have to work into their budget. They will be fixing that little hole thing. He did tell me that was gonna get fixed. But yeah, I have a whole list on my whiteboard of things that we're working on, but it's just like us, they have to go through their process and all that. So they are aware that we would like that, along with several other TxDOT items, so. But they've really been great to work with.
Okay, perfect.
And Holly, didn't we put something else on the agenda for future agenda?
You talked about revisiting the June meeting date.
Oh, the June meeting, okay. And the dress code, was that going to be on the next agenda as well? Okay. Okay, is there any others for the agenda? Okay. Adjourning the meeting at 8:16 PM.